Welcome to the We Talk Health Podcast, the official podcast for West Tennessee Healthcare. Please be advised that this podcast is not intended to replace any medical advice. Always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing said in this podcast is intended to supersede or supplement the direction of your medical caretakers. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at wetalkhealthpodcast@gmail.com, and we will do our best to answer any questions you may have.
Good morning and welcome to We Talk Health. My name is Kwasigroh. I'm going to be your host today, and today I've got Chrystal Dickson with me. She is a registered dietitian for West Tennessee Healthcare. Chrystal, how are you?
Great.
Good. Glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So today we are going to talk about eating healthy on a budget. That is a difficult thing to do, if we're going to be honest. In today's world where it's much easier to go, instead of cooking at home, it's just easier and quicker to maybe go out and eat dinner with friends, and it's a little more social. But we want to focus on how to do that properly at home without breaking the bank.
Grocery prices just seem to continue to rise.
They do.
Food gets more and more expensive as the years go on. So sometimes we may think it's easier to buy convenience foods and to try to buy unhealthy foods because they seem to cost less. There's some myths that, I'd kind of like to debunk with that today.
Let's do it.
So
That'd be great.
the first tip is plan meals. Plan things that you can cook at home. Because when you don't have a plan, you either stop by the grocery store and you buy something really quick just for that night, or you swing by the fast food restaurant and pick something up. But if you have a plan, if you've planned out every single day, you want to consider your schedule in that plan. So if you know that you're not going to have time to make a really, a big meal, plan something lighter, plan something smaller that you can prepare that night.
Yeah.
Plan ahead too, and prepare foods ahead of time. So that's one thing that you can do that can help, cut your overall costs.
Yeah.
You want to create a grocery list off of your weekly meal plan. So the first thing you're going to do is plan out your week's worth of menus.
Yeah.
Then you're going to look and see what you already have in your house that you can use, and then make a grocery list off of that.
Okay.
There's some great apps that you can use now that can help you keep a running grocery list while you're cooking. So if you run out of a certain item, you can add that to your app on your phone.
I was going to say phones are super popular today.
Absolutely.
And there's no sense in you not using it when you're going to have it in your pocket anyway.
Yes.
So,
and there are apps that can give you recipes, and it'll populate your grocery list based off that recipe.
really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
So there's a ton of things with technology now that can help us meal plan and
healthier.
prep. Yes, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. Another thing that you want to do is eat before you go to the grocery store. Because if you're hungry, you're more likely to grab those unhealthy foods. You're going to get foods that maybe aren't on your list simply because you're hungry and it looks good. So never go to the grocery store hungry. Always go on a full stomach.
That's a pro tip right there. I've done
is.
that so many times, and I'm like, ooh, let me just grab this pizza and this candy bar, this bag of chips, and then I get home, I'm like, I don't even want this because I was just hungry.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
And try to shop alone.
Okay.
If you take your kids with you, they're more likely to talk you, kind of nag you into buying foods that may not be on your list.
Yep.
They see the latest and greatest, food item that may not be a healthy item. And it's not to say that you can't buy those foods, but if you shop on your own, you're less likely to overspend off of what's on your grocery list.
That makes complete sense.
The next thing, you want to look for the best value. So, convenience foods like cookies and chips and donuts and soft drinks, they seem to cost less, but they have no nutritional value.
Sure.
So foods such as fruits and vegetables and whole grain foods, lean meats, and low-fat dairy products, they're full of nutrients and fiber, so they're going to fill you up and keep you fuller longer.
Okay.
I always like to use the reference of a Little Debbie snack. So let's think of a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie. You can get a box of 12 for probably $2.50. Or you can get a bag of apples. So if you get a bag of apples, it probably has 10 to 12 apples in it. And it's going to cost anywhere from $4 to $5. So if you eat a Little Debbie snack, you eat that oatmeal cream pie, 30 minutes from now, you're hungry again, right?
For sure.
So if you eat an apple and you have a couple of little cubes of cheese with it, or you have a tablespoon of peanut butter with it, you're going to be full till your next meal.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
good to
eat
know.
the Little Debbie snack, you're going to be hungry within 30 minutes. You're going to have to eat something else.
Right.
So you may have spent less, when you bought that box of Little Debbie snacks, but it's not going to keep you full long enough.
Gotcha.
Whereas you spend a little more money for the apple and you're not going to be hungry
Last
again.
longer. Sure.
Plus that apple's full of those, nutrients that are good for us.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you want to consider buying store brand items. The store brand items, a lot of them are made by the same manufacturer as the brand name item. So that's something that people don't always know. They typically taste the same.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually no difference. So store brand items are often, significantly cheaper than
true.
the brand name items. So consider buying those store brand things.
All right. Good to know.
Something else when you're in your grocery store, you want to look high and you want to look low. Your best deals are either going to be on the top shelf or the bottom shelf. Everything that's at eye level is what they want you to buy.
It's like a marketing ploy
It
almost.
is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is. So look high and look low. To find those better items. Also look for the unit price. When you look on a shelf and you see the price tag, you'll see the unit price that's there as well. And that's going to tell you kind of what, and you can compare items and see what costs less per unit, which you can get more for your money when you find a lower unit cost on an item. Sometimes buying things in bigger packages is not always, sometimes we think that it's more cost effective, but not always. Sometimes it's just a bigger item and it costs just as much. So you want to look at that unit price and pick food items, that are
based on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prepared foods are usually more expensive. Fruits and vegetables that you can buy that are already, pre-washed and cut up are more expensive than if you just buy the whole broccoli, for example. You can buy a bag of fresh broccoli that's already cut and washed. And so it's convenient. But if you buy a whole stalk of broccoli that you can cut up yourself, it's cheaper.
It's almost like you're paying a convenience fee for it to be cut and washed for you.
Same thing with a block of cheese. Well, it's easy to buy a bag of shredded cheese. If you buy the block of cheese,
And
it's
shred it
cheaper.
yourself.
Shred it yourself.
Yeah.
And take a day, carve out time in your weekend that you can meal prep where you can cut up those fruits and vegetables and have them ready.
Okay.
And then have the cheese grated.
Yeah.
Perfect. Things that you can use all week long.
It's almost like you're setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
Which
Absolutely.
is what you want to do anyway.
Yeah.
That's great.
And the same thing goes with like pre-bagged salads. You can buy those pre-bagged cut up salads, but if you buy a head of lettuce is typically about 99 cents.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of salads out of one head of lettuce.
For sure.
So cheaper. When it comes to canned fruits and vegetables, they're going to last longer on your shelf than the fresh fruits and vegetables. So you can do canned or you can do frozen. Canned vegetables now, especially, they make that low sodium or that no salt added version.
I was going to say, you probably need to look out for the higher sodium ones and avoid those.
Yeah. And they pretty much make all vegetables in the no salt added versions now. So those are good. When you're looking at fruits, canned fruits especially, you want it in 100% fruit juice. You want it canned in 100% fruit juice. If it says light syrup or heavy syrup, you want to avoid those.
Good to know.
Get it in the natural juice.
Perfect.
When you're purchasing grains, you want to check your label and you want to pick items that have whole grain listed as the first ingredient.
Okay.
So reading labels is very important. When it comes to pastas and rice and breads, if it says whole wheat bread, that's not what you want to pick. You want to pick whole grain bread.
Whole grain.
Yes,
Okay.
so look for the word whole grain, not just whole wheat. Rice and pasta are very budget friendly. You want to choose brown rice and whole wheat pastas, and they will help stretch food items. So if you add rice or pasta to salads or casseroles, it's a filler.
Yeah.
And so it can help fill you up, and you're getting that good fiber, and it'll stretch your recipe longer.
Okay.
Another thing, like when it comes to oatmeal, and same thing with rice, oatmeal and rice, you can buy instant oatmeal and instant rice, but it just means it cooks quicker. So if you buy the regular rice and the regular oatmeal, it's cheaper.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
And it only takes a few minutes more. It only adds a few minutes more to your cooking time.
Gotcha.
So the difference is not worth it. It's, buy the cheaper product and cook it a few minutes longer.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yes. Buy lean cuts of meat in bulk and then freeze what you don't use. And then I'll always say stop by the meat counter because the butchers there will, they'll have specials that they're running.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the sales flyer and plan your menus off of a sales flyer. Look for those food items that are on sale this week. Plan your menu off of what's on sale.
I've never really thought about doing that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely. So chicken may be a special this week. Plan chicken meals since the chicken is going to be discounted.
Perfect.
But buy it in bulk. And also ask your butcher for things that they're trying to quick sell. So it may be food items that are going to expire in the next day or two.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can work it into your menu in the next day or two, great. If not, take it home and freeze it.
Yeah.
And pull it out when you're ready to prepare it. You can get some really good discounted lean cuts of meat that way.
You're saying instead of going back to the back of Kroger and picking out the prepackaged chicken breast slices that are already cut up, you're saying go to the butcher because oftentimes they'll have maybe better quality meat, fresh cut, and it's cheaper.
Yes.
Perfect. I'll keep that in mind.
Also, you can do canned meats. You can get some good canned tuna and salmon they're low cost options,
Okay.
but they're good sources of protein, and they've got that good omega-3s that, are good for your heart health as well.
Perfect.
And don't forget about eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein.
I love eggs. They're so good.
And they're cheap.
Yeah.
A dozen eggs only costs around $1.
Yeah.
So, and you can make all kinds of things with eggs. You can add vegetables to it, hard-boiled eggs. There's so many different ways that you can prepare eggs to change it up, but they're a great source of protein.
Perfect.
The next thing you want to look at when you're purchasing your dairy products is look for low-fat or fat-free options. Typically, buying in bulk is better.
Okay.
Some people will think, well, if I buy a gallon of milk, it's going to go bad before I use it. It's okay to freeze milk. You can freeze milk and it's not going to spoil. So if you have got a half a gallon of milk left and it's going to go out of date in the next couple of days and you're afraid it's going to spoil, it's okay to freeze it. And freeze it in individual servings. Put it in little 8-ounce jars or, some kind of cup and freeze it and pull it out when you're ready to use it.
I never knew you could freeze milk.
You can freeze milk.
Wow.
Same thing with yogurt. You're better off if you buy the large tub of unflavored yogurt.
Okay.
And then buy fruit and sweeten it yourself by adding fruit to it.
Yeah. Or take the yogurt and the fruit and make a smoothie with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cheaper if you buy it. The little individual, pre-flavored yogurts are quite expensive, but that tub, it's cheaper. And, buying the fruit yourself and sweetening it, adding it to it, that's a cost saver. And another thing is you want to drink tap water instead of, sodas and all those sugar sweetened drinks. You can buy bottled water as well, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
When you can just drink tap water and put it in a reusable bottle, that's a great cost savings. A lot of refrigerators today have, water dispensers on them and they have filters. Or, if you're concerned about your tap water, you can buy filters that you can filter that water through.
Like a Brita water filter that you just fill it up, stick it in the fridge.
Yep, those pitchers, and you've got water right there that's always cold, and get a reusable bottle that you can fill. It's going to save our earth as well.
I was going to say it's going to be earth friendly as well.
Absolutely.
And then just infuse some of the fruit that you might have and gives you flavored water.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, these have been some phenomenal tips that I'm definitely going to start using in my personal life. So, Chrystal, thanks so much for coming in today. I really appreciate you being here and laying some knowledge on us. That's amazing. And if you guys ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at wetalkhealthpodcast@gmail.com. And this has been another episode of We Talk Health.